Okay, today we're going to look at my top 5 favorite pictures that I've taken. So a lot of you know when I started traveling I bought a camera and I wanted to document everything, and it kind of evolved into me wanting to turn it into more like photojournalism. So I wanted to document what I was seeing, the reality. I didn't want to kind of fall into what you see with the news these days, so regions being portrayed as dangerous or whatever. So I really tried to keep it like light and fun and beautiful and expose all of the good things that a lot of times people don't see about places. So let's start. The first photo. Wow, okay, I love this photo. By the way, these are in order that I took them. So this trip was in Laos. I really remember this day so vividly because I was so excited to get this photo. At this point in time, I was still really new with my camera and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know what the difference was between like aperture and shutter speed and ISO. I had no idea. It was in Vientiane and it was basically dinner and a show, and the show was like cultural dance from all of the regions in Laos. A lot of it had to do with like agricultural dances, like that resembled harvesting crops and things like that. But it was still so beautiful to see all of the regional outfits and the traditional dances, and the music was really fun, and yeah, it was incredible. I 100% recommend to go to this show if you're in Southeast Asia. So if you can imagine, the scene was very dark with bright stage lights, and that's actually really difficult to shoot on like a DSLR because you're dealing with a lot of different factors of like brightness, ISO, white balance, and things like that. So if I'm being 100% honest, this photo is pure luck. I don't know how I got this photo. I wasn't on automatic settings and I was just kind of like fiddling around. Like if I took one photo that was way underexposed, I would, you know, like fix the settings to make it more bright, to increase the exposure. And yeah, this was kind of the finished product, and I absolutely love it. And obviously she is gorgeous. I love the shadows. I love how like it's not 100% focused, and if you zoom in, there's a lot of noise in the photo, but I actually really like that, and I think it adds to the picture. So yeah, that's photo number 1. Pure luck. Oops, I lied. This isn't in order. The first picture I took. So this picture was taken in Rabat, Morocco. I also remember this day really clearly. So when I was staying in Rabat, I lived in the Cambodia, which is like the little cute blue and white town next to the ocean. It's really, really cute. If you've been to Rabat, you've probably been in there. And it's also, I think, where like Tom Cruise filmed something. So I was right outside the Casbah. There's like this little beach with some rocks, and this was my last day in Morocco, so I was a little sad. Actually, like a few months before this picture, I had just dropped out of university. I was really anxious and confused. Yeah, this photo is basically the end of this trip, which at that point in time I had planned like after this trip to go enroll in spring semester at university again and get my life back on track. That didn't happen. I remember coming up to the beach and I remember seeing this man standing on this bed of rocks with all these waves crashing, and I was really like kind of struck by that image just even before I took the picture, because like what I was seeing was someone who was doing a lot of thinking on the rocks. I felt like we were going through a similar situation, like we were both really thinking about life, like what lies ahead. And yeah, when I took this picture, the wave crashed perfectly, and I was so excited to get that. My mobile connection stopped with the camera. So I really love this picture. I love the way that the wave crashed. I love how it's almost a silhouette. There is still some detail, but overall it's very shadowy and I like that. This was one of the first pictures I ever took, so the detail is not that great. If you zoom in, yeah, it's pretty like gross. It's not a nice photo, but in general I love the content and I love the framing of the waves. So. Alright, the next picture I took was in Faridabad, India. I took this picture when I was working at a school. It was really amazing because first off, so many kids at the school, even though it's so tiny. You can see all of them here. This was mostly like primary school students. On this day, it was a total surprise because the school like started putting up decorations, which are the sheets in the background. This is a very impoverished neighborhood, so like it was nice to see like some thought being put into this presentation. And this presentation was actually a Christmas presentation, so they did a little Christmas show. It was really cool to see everyone dress up in really nice outfits and do little performances. A picture of the oldest girls. They're performing a dance that they prepared. So that was super cute and it was beautiful. And I really love the series of pictures I got from this moment because I love how the kids' heads are in the foreground, and like I love how you can still see individual style for each of the kids. And it kind of just looks like a sea of heads. Love that. This was a really small space, so I think part of why I like it is because it looks bigger in this picture just because of the way that the foreground and the background are like framing everything together. Also, we really love the sun coming through the sheets. I think it brings in some really cool highlights on the rest of the kids. And then the last thing that I really love is the background, where you can still see how the school was on a normal day. You can see the paint coming off the walls, you can see how it's kind of falling apart, because it is, and well, it was, I don't know now, but I just love how their outfits bring so much life to the school. Like everything else is red or this like dull yellow color falling apart, but their outfits have glitter and sparkles and they're bright colors and they're wearing earrings. Like I think it's just such an awesome photo and it was a really cool moment to be a part of. Alright, the next picture I took is also from India, but this is from Varanasi. Varanasi is a really interesting place. It's where a lot of Hindus want to be cremated, so extremely spiritual there. Right, so this photo, I actually can't remember exactly what I was doing that day, but I know that we were along the Ghats, I think that's how you say it, which is right next to the Ganges River. So this photo has some people hanging out by the Ganges, it has like a little street dog. But oh my god, I love this picture. In my future house, I want this photo on gallery paper in a really cool frame from like floor to almost the ceiling. Like I just love this picture and there's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is I cropped it and I love the crop. I love how it's a square crop. The second reason is I love the color blocking in it. You have a really bright pink, you have like a sliver of red, you have the beige, you have the orange on the man's clothes, and then you have the slice of the sky, which is like a gray blue because of all the air pollution. For a while I really wanted to take out like the electric wires and the light that's on the pink building, but actually now I really like it. I think it adds to the picture. I think it gives some sort of complexity to the photo. It shows you that there's like another side somewhere to something. I really love that, and yeah, I think it's so cool. And I also love how you can't see the man's face and you can't see the faces of the people sitting down either. The only face you can actually see is the dog's face, and I think that adds some sort of element of history. Yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures I have ever taken. I like it a lot. And then the last of my top pictures I've ever taken that I like is more recent, and the editing style has changed quite a bit over time. Kanungu, Uganda, which is very rural Uganda on the border of Congo. So I took this picture in 2018. I've never actually posted it on the internet. I don't, something about this picture makes me worry about ethics, and I don't know, I can't really pinpoint it. I think I just can't pinpoint why, but it is one of my favorite pictures, and I think my little secrecy with it is part of why it's my favorite. The reason I love this is because of the composition. This is the teacher standing at the window checking on her youngest students, but I love the composition of the window slightly off center, and I love how the window perfectly frames the students. And I think it's just really cool how the writing on the school helped to frame the story behind this picture. Having the quote that life has no spare parts while like peering into a room full of students, I think there's something really beautiful about that and inspiring. Compared to a lot of the other schools in that area, a lot of the other schools had quotes on their walls about like say no to drugs and stuff about like being sugar daddies and things like that. Actually have something painted on the walls that wasn't kind of like negative, that was really positive like this. It was so beautiful. And in general, the teacher is absolutely gorgeous. She was so sweet to let me like photograph her day. The kids are super cool. I like how the wooden slats are like pieced together. It's not perfect. I really like that in my photos. I don't like perfection in my photos because perfection's not usually reality. So yeah, I really love this picture. Alright, so that's my top 5 photos that I've taken so far. It was really hard to narrow down 5 pictures because I've taken a lot. I've been to a lot of countries, and each country has its own vibe, its own memories, and some countries I had a better experience than others. Some countries I've been to multiple times. Some countries I barely even turned my camera on, but I still had a good time. So yeah, it's really hard to pick just top 5. If you like this video, maybe I could do another one, the top pictures from a certain country or the top pictures from every country I've been to. Just tell me if you enjoyed it, but yeah, see you!